Last thing, Canelo said that he might bypass May for a rematch with you in September. Your thoughts?
That's new news to me.
Yeah. Would you be open to the rematch?
Terence Crawford, fresh after his historic win over Canelo Alvarez, is not entertaining rematch rumors at all. When reports claimed a big September 2026 rematch was already planned, Crawford's reaction was ice cold. He didn't argue. He didn't explain. He simply laughed and said, "That's new news to me," with just 5 words. Crawford made one thing very clear. Canelo is no longer in control. For years, Canelo was the man who decided everything: dates, venues, and opponents. Fighters waited for his call, but that era ended the moment the final bell rang in Las Vegas last September. Now, for the first time, Canelo is chasing a fight, and the man he's chasing isn't even picking up the phone.
Ooh, talk about slick. Oh my goodness. Who's ever done that? Who's ever jumped up 2 weight classes like that? It's crazy.
Scary.
He's so clever. And it got to the point where he got so comfortable, he's like pit-patting them and then like, what? And you're watching, like, this is amazing.
Like, that's history, obviously. You shouldn't be able to do that. You shouldn't be able to fight at that weight for the first time ever.
Against one of the greatest
greatest of all time, and do what you did. You're beyond an outlier. You're an anomaly.
This is psychological warfare, and Crawford is winning it quietly by saying he's in no rush and needs to speak with his team. Crawford is treating Canelo like any other contender. The message is simple, but brutal. Canelo no longer has leverage. It's no longer about what date Canelo wants or what city he prefers. If this rematch happens, it will happen on Crawford's terms. And right now, Crawford looks perfectly comfortable letting the former king wait and worry.
And let me tell you something. I'm not bull jiving. See, I don't see this as a Saul Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Bud Crawford rematch. I see this as a showbiz, the adult redemption. I'm gonna put all the bags on Terence Bud Crawford to win this damn fight.
To understand how desperate Canelo's team has become, look at the schedule. According to ESPN insider Salvador Rodriguez, Canelo is planning to skip his traditional Cinco de Mayo fight in May 2026. That is shocking. For over a decade, that weekend was untouchable for Canelo, guaranteed money and massive attention. Walking away from it is a clear sign of panic. It shows that everything now revolves around one goal: getting another shot at Terence Crawford.
News just broke. I want to say it broke maybe yesterday or early this morning. Saul Canelo Alvarez, his trainer, Eddie Reynoso, just said that what was Canelo plans for next year. Now, normally, Canelo fights on Cinco de Mayo, which is a Mexican-American holiday, and he fights on Mexican Independence Day. Canelo just put plans out basically saying that he's not fighting Cinco de Mayo. He wants to rematch Terence Crawford on September, Mexican Independence Day weekend next year, 2026. As a matter of fact,
Canelo's longtime trainer and manager Eddie Reynoso has basically confirmed it. Their main focus is a September 2026 rematch with Crawford. No tune-up fights. No stay-busy bouts. Everything else is on hold. They're clearing the entire year just to study, prepare, and rebuild for one man. That tells you how wide the gap was in the first fight. An 8-week camp isn't enough. They believe they need 12 full months to fix what went wrong. And the irony? Crawford hasn't even agreed to fight yet. In boxing, no usually means not enough money, and Crawford's price is massive. His coach Bernie Davis has publicly stated their demand.
Listen, I learned my damn. I'm getting my $20,000 back. I can give a damn if Terence Crawford is the favorite 5-1. I'm gonna put down as much money as I possibly can to get out of that $20,000 Bud Crawford debt. And that's the black damn 2 sugar. See, I learned my damn lesson. And look at me. Look at me. I am dead serious. Now listen. Now that we got that out the way, let me give my take, okay? First and foremost, Terence Bud Crawford is a damn dog. And let me tell you what I mean. In negotiating for this rematch, he would be the first one out of the fighters who've beaten Saul Canelo Alvarez to give him a rematch. Floyd Money Mayweather didn't give Canelo Alvarez a rematch. Dimitri Bivol didn't give Canelo Alvarez a rematch. But here Terence Bud Crawford doing what he does. And let me give you a side note. Let me just put a pin in that. Put a pin in that real quick. Do you know what Terence Bud Crawford was trying to do? the type of bags he was trying to collect this year, Terence Bud Crawford accepted the Jake Paul fight. Yeah. The replacement fight for Gervonta Tank Davis, Terence Bud Crawford accepted that damn fight. Now, MVP, Jake Paul, they didn't go with Terence Bud Crawford. They went with AJ, which I'm still scratching my head on that. All right, because that is going to be a brutal knockout. But with that said, Terence Bud Crawford said yes to this, knowing damn well he's going to negotiate with Canelo. You want to talk about
$100 million guaranteed for a rematch. That number shocked promoters, but it makes sense. Crawford has already done everything. He moved up. He dominated. He secured his legacy. Why risk his health and his perfect record again for anything less than generational money? This demand puts pressure on promoters, networks, and Saudi investors. Crawford is basically saying, if you want the sequel, you pay blockbuster money. And once again, he's proving he knows his value better than anyone else in boxing. Another reason for Crawford's hesitation is simple. The first fight wasn't close. It wasn't a war. It was a masterclass. Fans and analysts have been sharing clips showing Canelo swinging at air, unable to cut off the ring, and looking slow and frustrated. When you dominate someone that clearly, the hunger for a rematch just isn't the same. Even boxing legends agree.
I'm going to tell you why. He's a competitor. And there's a few things going on here. Number one, there was a rematch clause. And I do know right after the fight, so Canelo Alvarez was like, there was nothing I could do with it. But I think what happens is you start to sit back. Let me look at the fights. Let me think about this. The fight was closer than I thought. You know, that's what Canelo's thinking, right? Because technically it was. All right, when you think about the copy boxes, put a pin in that. We all know Terence Crawford whooped that man's ass 11 rounds to 1 in reality, all right? But if you count, punches, landed or copy by, statistically, technically, it was a closer fight, okay? Now, Saul Canelo Alvarez also, last time you saw him, he's, nursing and recovering from an elbow surgery, which he had an elbow injury going into the fight. So, you start thinking about stuff like that. I'm talking about if you Canelo, why would you say, let's go ahead with the rematch? I think I got a shot. All right. Being a competitor for one. All right. And number two, the fight was closer technically than you thought because you were in there. And in there, you felt like you were getting your ass whipped. And number three, you went in there nursing an elbow injury. So it's like, I think I may have a chance if I'm 100% healthy. All right. He feels the same way about Bivol because he had a wrist injury going into the Bivol fight. So it's just, you think about all those things. And like, let me give myself a shot. All right. But I'll tell you what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is get my 20 grand back. All right.
A recent clip of Manny Pacquiao went viral where he warned Canelo that he looked heavy and sluggish. Pacquiao said Canelo would need to lose serious weight just to have a chance against Crawford again. When icons like Pacquiao point out physical decline, it confirms what Crawford already sees. This no longer looks like a dangerous rivalry. It looks like a business decision. Crawford isn't chasing legacy anymore. He already has it. That's why the rematch feels less like a sporting necessity and more like a cash grab. And that brings everything back to the $100 million demand. As if things weren't messy enough, the WBC added more drama.
He petitioned to fight a final elimination bout in super welterweight against Madrimov and remain champion in welter. The WBC supported him. He did not comply with the rules. Then he moves up to super middle and makes the fight of the century, beats Canelo, makes $50 million or around that. The WBC absolutely is not going to charge 3% of such an amount. We made a very clear 0.6%, which is $300,000, with $225,000 going to the Jose Sulaiman Boxers Fund, which is to help former fighters in need. And it is just regrettable. Not even a thank you or I'm sorry, taking a different route. No response. I wish him the best. But this is not. The WBC is huge, it's great. It's about greatness. And I'm relieved, to tell you the truth.
Is it true that you walked up to him and you gave him the belts back?
Yeah, for sure.
Did that happen?
Yeah.
Why did you do that? Why'd you do that?
They his belts. I want to be the one to, give them back to him.
But you mean actually they're your belts? You took it, you won.
My belts, but my belts is gonna come personalized. Like his belts is personalized. Them his. I took his titles.
Gotcha.
The belts is going home with him. The titles is coming home with me. I'm gonna get my new belts. And those belts is going home with him. And I just felt like it was only right that I'll be the one to present them back to him.
In the middle of all these negotiations, they stripped Crawford of the super middleweight title he just won, claiming unpaid sanctioning fees. That decision only deepened the divide between Crawford and boxing's power structures. What do you think? Is Crawford right to walk away unless the money is right? Or should Canelo get another chance? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next update. We'll catch you in the next one.